Change is inevitable. It is something that organisations have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. When it comes to the business world, change usually means doing things differently or adding new services or products into the organisation's repertoire. Change can be either good or bad for an organisation, depending on how they handle the situation. In this video, we're going to go over a few fundamental change management models, which you can use in your organisation when dealing with change either internally or externally. Firstly, if you're new here, please do subscribe and hit the notification bell for weekly consulting tip videos that can help you increase profitability in your organisation. Change management usually refers to how teams and organisations carry out organisational change. Although various definitions exist, change, and the management thereof, is an ever-changing process that influences everyone. Although there is no one-size-fits-all solution for coping with change, many organisations return to several tried and true change management strategies time and again. Lewin's Change Management Model. The Lewin Change Management Model, which was created in the 1940s, is still effective because of its basic yet successful structure. According to the namesake of the change approach, Kurt Lewin, organizational transformation may be divided into three smaller stages: unfreeze, change, refreeze. To begin, a group or organization must freeze their existing process and opinions before preparing for future developments. This stage allows the team to approach the task or issue with a clear mind, devoid of prejudice or bad habits. Next, it's time to put things into action. Change needs clear and continual communication across all affected channels, both before and after implementation. Finally, it's time to refreeze. Assuming positive feedback and continuing contact throughout the change process, the refreezing process solidifies the new method. Teams and organizations must abandon their old norms before they can adopt a new style. For adjusting, teams and organizations require time alone. The Lewin change model, while too simple for some, is popular among others for its capacity to expose old patterns and overlook difficulties, as well as its straightforward approach to innovative thinking. Adkar Model. The Adkar Model is well known for its people-centric approach to change management. Jeffrey Hyatt developed the Adkar Model to assist individuals in changing on a personal level, since, as he says, change is more often about people's responses to it than the change themselves. The following are the initials of Adkar: awareness, recognition of the need to make improvements; desire, I am interested in and wish to contribute to change; knowledge, the ability to change; ability, change implementation capability; reinforcement, the reinforcement serves to maintain the shift. Organizational change is inherently dependent on the participation of its employees for success. Therefore, it's critical that individuals know what changes are taking place, why they're happening, and how they affect them personally. The Adkar model aids people in processing change by using a step-by-step process to clearly define stages that allow them to both understand and adapt to change. Kotter's 8-step change model. Kotter's 8-step change model, which was developed after a survey of over 100 organizations in transition, focuses more on people affected by substantial organizational changes rather than the changes themselves. The 8 phases are as follows. 1. Create a strong sense of urgency. 2. Create a strong coalition of support. 3. Form strategic vision. 4. Get everyone on board. 5. Remove roadblocks to allow the action to occur. 6. Generate short-term wins. 7. Maintain the acceleration. And 8. Institute change. Change management expert John Kotter infuses trust, transparency, and collaboration into his technique for converting wary individuals into willing participants. This approach is a long-standing favorite among change management models because it effectively transforms potential resistant participants into receptive participants through trust, openness, and teamwork. By identifying the ultimate goal, encouraging everyone's involvement, and carry out pending tasks, organizations can effectively implement change while minimizing resistance. Kubler-Ross change curve. The Kubler-Ross change curve is a widely recognized model for grief that has been used as a reliable change management model approach owing to its breakdown of how people respond to change in general. When businesses anticipate their workers' anticipated responses, they may better prepare for change. The 5 stages are as follows: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. If organizations and businesses lose sight of whom their changes will have the most impact on, then their efforts to make those improvements will be for naught. It's not as simple as changing your t-shirt. There are emotional factors to consider when altering an organization. Another consideration with the change management approach is that these stages are not always in order, and that no two people will go through them in the same way. As a result, it may be used as a complement to other change management models for a two-pronged strategy. McKinsey's 7S model. Thomas J. Peters and Robert H. Waterman, the creators of the McKinsey 7S model, developed it at McKinsey consulting firm in the 1970s to assess how various aspects of an organization interact. According to the 7S framework, every business has 7 basic elements. Hard elements is the easiest way to identify and control. Strategy, structure, system. Soft elements, this is a more subjective and challenging aspect to regulate. Shared values, staff, style, skills. A web of interconnected components exists across any organization. When one component is changed, the effect radiates out and affects the other elements. Companies more often utilize the 7S model to coordinate organizational change and bring various departments and procedures into alignment. If a company grows from 10 to 100 employees, for example, the staff, shared values, and organizational structure will almost certainly alter. Using the 7S model, it is feasible to recognize the changes and realign the components during expansion in order to maintain things running smoothly. PDCA model. The PDCA model was created by William Deming in the 1950s and is also known as the Deming wheel or control cycle. The PDCA model, which stands for Plan, Do, Act, Change, is a cyclical and iterative approach to continuous improvement. The 5-step agile software development processes involves establishing objectives, developing a plan, testing the plan, putting it to action, evaluating its success, and making necessary modifications, then repeating. PDCA is a strong and flexible approach. It's best utilized in the following situations: conducting controlled trials, identifying inefficiencies, and developing new procedures across organizations and sectors. Bridges Transition Model. The Bridges Transition Model, like the Kubler-Ross change curve, is another people-orientated approach to change management. However, unlike the Kubler-Ross change curve, which focuses on the transition to the new state rather than the shift itself, the Bridges Transition Model emphasizes not only the move to a new way of thinking, but also people's experience. According to the Bridges Transition Model, the key to change management isn't the outcome of the change, but how employees let go of the old and embrace the new. The Bridges Transition Model is the most effective during significant changes to assist people through the process. When persons move from one state to another, there are 3 stages. 1. Ending, losing, and letting go. Employees are emotional in the first step of the transition model, which is typically the most emotional for them. If you don't correctly express the goal and advantages of a change, employees may reject it, so be sure to clearly explain both. 2. Neutral zone. Employees transition to the new way of working and get up to speed on new procedures during this period. When issues arise, communicate promptly and clearly to minimize confusion and frustration. 3. New beginnings. The final stage in the transition is acceptance. Employees have a clear sense of purpose and know why the changes were required. Highlight the positive outcomes of the changes to demonstrate how much effort employees put into them. Prepare for change. To prepare for future changes, change management models assist businesses. Whether you're dealing with company-wide transformation or refining processes within your department, the appropriate tools allow you to plan for any kind of change within an organization. There is no such thing as a one-size-fits-all approach to change management, so there's no way to conduct it perfectly. However, in general, it's critical to stick to your beliefs and lead in a manner that is appropriate to you. You may also adapt and vary your technique to fit the specific problems your company faces, as well as the behaviors you're aiming to modify. Tell us in the comments below what change management models you've tried at your company, or which ones you're thinking about.